So coming up next to the stage, we have the return of Janet. Hi there. I like that music. That's not my mic. I'm okay. I want to share two poems with you. First one's longer, but they're from two new books from Squares Publications. This is a poem for the book Every Event of the Year. It's volume 1, January through June. It's got every crazy old event. And because Lust and Thought suggested to me that this would be a good audience for this, I'm going to read this poem for you. It was it's presented here for the National Day of Reason, and it is called God Eyes. It was a stupid thing to argue about at 2 a.m., sitting in the lobby of the Las Vegas Hilton, listening to the clink and whir of slot machines and the dropping of tokens onto metal. You believed in a god. I did not. Even after 2 rounds of Sam Adams and 3 rounds of Bailey's, I knew you weren't going to change my mind, and I had no desire to change yours. You told me about a dream you had. You and Christian Slater played a game of pool. You won. He looked at his hands and he said, I've got a beer in one hand and a cigarette in the other. I guess this means it's time for me to seduce someone. And you walked away. I thought that was funny. You're a funny man. You make me laugh. Your brother even noticed that. And you even spoke like Slater. Rough, mysterious. You were the optimist. There is meaning to life. I was doomed to nothingness, meaninglessness. But to me, you were the pessimist. You believed that you were not capable of creating the power, the passion you had within you. I had control over my life, even if in the end it was all for nothing. You think we are so different. We are not. It was now after 3 a.m. when we listened to music. Al Jarreau, Whitney Houston, Billy Ocean, Mariah Carey, Natalie Cole with her father. That's why, darling, it's incredible. You mouth as you walk to the washroom. That's someone so unforgettable. Take a spin and then watch me mouth the words with you as you walk away. Think that I am unforgettable too. I tell you about the first time I ever got drunk. I was maybe 10 and asked my sister to make a mixed drink that my mom had that I liked. She made me a few. So there I was walking to my neighbor's house in my swimsuit, wearing my sister's 70s zip-up boots, oversized and unzipped, carrying my 7th drink and sticking out my tongue to show off the grenadine. You liked my story. You laughed. Passion is a hard thing to describe. Passion for life. You must know and understand the spirituality behind it. You do your work, the things in life, solely because you must. It is you, and you cannot exist any other way. It is who you are. It is a feeling beyond mere enjoyment. You said that spirituality was a god. I said it was my mind. Once again, we lock horns. All my life I've been looking for people who espouse beliefs but don't follow them. Tell me you are not like them. Our values are different, but tell me we both have values and we'll fight to the death for them. I need to know that there are people out there like that, like me. We are different, but at the core we are the same. We understand all of this. I'm grasping at straws here. The clock says 3:45 a.m. and the betting odds roll for the football games roll by on the television screen. You don't gamble. Neither do I. Why must you be so far away? You reminded me that I had passion in life, that I have to keep fighting. But I get weak and I tire of fighting these battles alone. I, the atheist, have no God to rely on for my will. When I'm low, I struggle. You have a God to fall back on. I only have me. And you looked into my eyes as it approached the morning. You stared. We locked horns again, and I asked you what you were thinking. You said, I see a God in your eyes. And later I asked you that again, after you said that, and I said, what do you mean? And you said, I see a God in your eyes. I see a soul. Whether what you saw was a God or just me, my passion, well, thanks for finding it. Goodbye, you said as you left for good that day. I said nothing. Goodbye, Mr. Williams, I thought, and then I closed the door and walked to the window, started singing Unforgettable. I was alone in my hotel room, and the lights from the Stardust, the Frontier, the Riviera were still flashing. I'm not alone. Goodbye, Mr. Williams. Thank you. That was a long one, so I'm going to give you a short one for the other one. This is from a book that is all about being attracted not to my pheromones, but my memes, my pharaoh memes. This is Twitter and it has all sorts of images in it, and it just came out, and this is a poem I'd like to share with you, and it is called Eternal, Never-Ending Now. We struggle in our worlds, we contend with regular problems, and we look for relief in any way we can. We think a vacation can temporarily assuage how we feel, and it does. But then it's back to the same old grind, that same never-ending meaninglessness. I know it's hard. I know it seems hopeless. But I want to ask you, can you take a moment, can you pause and think of a time in your life, any time, where you felt at peace? It may have been a lifetime ago. Maybe it was at a beach at sundown, listening to the waves crash. Maybe it was sitting along a mountainside, watching the little cars driving down the little roads below. Maybe it was jumping in a vat of soybeans at a farmland where the farmer said to look around the farm, and all you could smell was fresh wheat and dew and the lush grain all around you. I won't bring up references like bubble baths or baseball games. Just think of what works for you and remember it. And what I want you to do is find that moment, and you may realize that that time seemed to just stand still. There was no past, there was no future, there was just an eternal, never-ending now. And it just didn't end. During that moment, you don't even remember it ending. It was that complete. So, if you can remember those times, if you can reflect on those times, then know that the perfect moment of completeness, of wholeness, is within you. Find it, and then that peace is with you, always. Thank you very much. Thank you.
We'd like to remind you there are no refunds on the cost of admission.
I'm just making shit up as I go along. Give it up for Janet!